Yes, yes, yes. It's Raphael Dawkins, Combat Radio. And today, we're looking at Eddie Hearn's words in response to some speculation, some allegations that Callum Smith is looking or considering offers to leave Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing for a rival promoter. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into it. There's an allegation that Callum Smith may be about to split from Eddie Hearn to join a rival promoter, according to his trainer, one Joe Gallagher. And Eddie Hearn responded. We'll get to that in a second. The WBA Ring Magazine Super Middleweight Champion, widely regarded as the best in the Super Middleweight division, claimed his crown by knocking out George Groves in the World Boxing Super Series final last September, but has fought just once since. Smith took time out following the birth of his daughter and returned with a knockout over Hassan Endam on the undercard of the Anthony Joshua versus Ruiz fight in Madison Square Garden, which many of you I'm sure will remember. Hearn previously stated that he was planning for the 29-year-old to headline a Liverpool show in September-October, though this is yet to materialize, and now it appears we know why. Now it appears we know why? I don't know why. Gallagher told Sky Sports rival promoters have made contact. And he continued to say Callum has a few lucrative offers on the table. He's considering them because they could lead to big fights. His head has been turned. We're now waiting to see what Eddie Hearn can offer. Callum wants big-name US-based fighters like Sergey Kovalev, Canelo, David Benavidez, and Caleb Plant. Hearn recently signed WBO middleweight champion Billy Joe Saunders, but has no plans to make an in-house unification fight later this year. He responded by saying, "We are planning Callum Smith's next fight for October time, before a huge fight in the spring, most likely at Anfield. Obviously, in signing Billy Joe Saunders, we have the perfect opponent for a huge domestic fight. But Callum is also in the mix for all the big names on the US broadcaster dance, including Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin." Okay, so these were primarily the words of Callum Smith's trainer. Now, Joe Gallagher. Now let's listen to what Eddie Hearn had to say. Let's pump up the volume a little bit. Okay.
One of the reasons I signed Billy Joe was to make the Callum Smith fight. So that's an obvious fight for next spring. Triple G in our work, classic fight. Demetrius Andre, Danny Jacobs. All these fights are there for Callum Smith. The only problem is the next one, because it'll be a treading water fight, but it won't be a mega fight in October or November. But we've got to have that fight, and I want to do Anfield next spring, summer.
Boom. So, Eddie Hearn is saying that one of the reasons we signed Billy Joe Saunders was to make the Callum Smith fight. And that makes perfect sense. If we look at BoxRec in a second, we will see. Where are we? Here we are. Callum Smith. Super middleweight. Callum Smith is ranked number 1 on BoxRec. Chris Eubank Jr., number 2. And Billy Joe Saunders, number 3. further down. So those, or rather, the Callum Smith versus the Billy Joe in-house. Now he's got both of them on board. And of course, other big fights that can be made, potentially. Caleb Plant doing big things over there in America. And a big domestic clash. Either of those guys. With Christopher Eubank Jr. Okay. So that was Eddie Hearn's response. Actually, he goes on further to say some more things. Talking about Joe Gallagher is having a laugh. And logically, it makes no sense what Joe Gallagher's saying. People like Canelo, people like Triple G are all under the DAZN banner. So why would Callum Smith be looking elsewhere when the big fights? That was Christopher Eubank after the George Groves fight. He incurred a split in the eyebrow. Why would Callum Smith be looking elsewhere when all the big fights, or many of the big fights that he wants, are right under the banner of Matchroom DAZN? Makes absolutely no sense. Let's have a few more words from Eddie Hearn.
Maybe. I mean, I think we've had, everything's down to him. He don't really want to go out like that after the Lomachenko fight.
That's not what we wanted to hear. He was talking about Adam Carolla now. Okay, so I think that's it. I think we've pretty much covered it. Joe Gallagher is talking nonsense just for hype. Add some pressure onto the situation. It seems like Callum Smith is eager for a big clash. But I guess these things, i.e. negotiations, as we have seen recently and in the past, these things can sometimes take time. So my conclusion, Callum Smith ain't going nowhere. What say you? Leave your thoughts, views, and comments in the comment section. This is Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. It's the like, it's the subscribe, it's the comments, it's the shares, and it is that hitting that bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. And for sure, follow me on Twitter. New Twitter account. It's up. Feel free to go in the description box and hit that one-click PayPal donation button. All warmly welcomed. It's Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. Is that even Callum Smith? That looks like Usyk. That's Usyk. Get out of here. It's not your turn, son. Come on. It's Raphael Dawkins, Combat Radio. And I'm out. There's Nas. Looking chunky.